We've been married for 5 years, together since I was 22. I'm 33 now. When we first met, I saw him as the most grounded person I'd ever known. Steady, responsible, the kind of organized that made life feel manageable. He kept routines, tracked every expense, paid bills on time, filed taxes early, and always brought an umbrella if the weather called for it. My life had never had that kind of order, and I leaned into more than I realized at the time. He always talked about wanting children. It was one of the first serious conversations we had. I told him I wanted that too. I even had a list of baby names I liked, and I said it all with conviction. But the truth is, I'd never really imagined that life for myself. I just didn't want to lose him. Somewhere deep down, I accepted it as the cost of being part of the stable future he represented. I told myself I'd feel differently when the time came. But when the time came, I didn't. It never changed. I'm just not built that way. Motherhood never fit. As the years went on, the subject came up more and more. He started bringing up things like school districts, how his coworker's kid got into some advanced program. Meanwhile, I was daydreaming about flights to Mexico, trying to convince myself we could travel a little more before settling down. He never directly stopped me, but that was our pattern. He tried to nudge me one way, and I'd quietly resist. By our 3rd year of marriage, we weren't really arguing. We were just misaligned. The distance between us was calm, polite, and unbearable. We had a nice apartment, 2 bedrooms, big windows, a kitchen he had remodeled one weekend like a man on a mission, but the quiet between us was getting louder. I started staying out later. He went to bed earlier. I stopped explaining where I was or why. That's when I met someone else, a friend of a coworker. He came by to fix our wireless printer. After that, I found excuses to talk to him again. I never mentioned that I was married. I kept things vague. He had that same calm charm my husband once had. Before our life got heavy, I like how easy it felt. We started texting. He wasn't pushy, and that reminded me of how my husband used to be. When we were younger and more playful, before every conversation felt like it had a countdown clock to children and real estate. I'd say I needed some air and head out, calling this new guy while my husband folded laundry or sorted spreadsheets on his laptop. He always did his own laundry, always hung his jeans by the waist so they wouldn't crease. That's just who he was. I got careless, too wrapped up in my own little daydream. I lost track of reality. He noticed. He checked our shared phone plan and saw one number again and again at all hours. He called it. I don't know what the other guy told him, but the next morning, my husband looked like he hadn't slept at all. He stood in the kitchen, said he knew, and asked me not to talk to him. Just like that. He didn't yell, didn't break anything. He told me to stay out of his way and went into the bedroom. The next morning, he wasn't in our bed anymore. He'd moved to the guest room. By the weekend, he'd already redirected his direct deposit to a new bank account. Quietly, efficiently, just like how he did everything else. He had paid for nearly everything in our life: rent, insurance, utilities, groceries. I contributed small things, my own streaming services, maybe the internet. The joint account had both our names on it, but he kept it going. Now he's gone quiet. I don't know if he's hired a lawyer. He won't tell me. I've asked to talk. He says no. He says he wants a divorce, and means it. As for the other guy, I haven't spoken to him since it all came crashing down. I wouldn't know what to say. Hey, I blew up my life. Can we still pretend this is fun? It's not fun anymore. I don't want him. I don't want a divorce either. I just want to go back. But I know I can't. He's not open to anything. He won't even look at me now. And I have no idea what to do. Update. I'm falling apart. He left 4 days ago. Took what he needed. His work clothes, laptop, a bunch of chargers, his shaving kit, a few tools. Not everything. He left the drill, but took the good flashlight he always kept in the car. Didn't say where he was going. Just that he wasn't going to keep paying for an apartment I was the only one living in. I didn't argue. I couldn't. I was frozen. I keep freezing like that. It's like my brain goes on pause. I just stand there, lost. I can't think straight or move most days. I don't know if he's staying with friends or booked a hotel. He won't say. He only answers messages about money now. He told me to send receipts if I buy anything we use to share, so he can track it all for the split. It's like I've already become someone he used to know. Now, for the first time in a long time, I have to think seriously about money. My job barely gives me 22 hours a week, and even that depends on whether someone else doesn't need the shift. Rent eats up 3/4 of my paycheck. Utilities are still looming. I keep the AC off unless it's unbearable, and I eat cheap frozen meals from the clearance section. I tried calling my dad for advice, but I hung up before he could answer. I haven't told anyone what's happening. Everyone always liked him better anyway. Probably still do. Then there's the other guy. I don't even know what to call him anymore. AP, I guess. We messaged after everything collapsed. I didn't explain much, but he figured it out. He'd suspected I was married all along. When I mentioned maybe needing a place to stay, he went silent. A few days later, I reached out again and just said things were bad. He responded with, "I'm sorry you're going through all that. I'm not in a place to help." That was it. He's still online, still posting, dinners out, gym selfies, his dog. Yesterday, he tagged some woman in a story. I didn't recognize her. Maybe it was always like that, and I just didn't see it. Or maybe he saw what happened and bolted. If he knew I was married and still slept with me, then part of me thinks he should face some consequences too. But it looks like that's not how the world works. Either way, he's done with me. I asked my landlord what it would cost to break the lease. 2 months' rent, and I'd lose a deposit. I can't swing that. So now I'm looking for a roommate. Not many people want to live with someone mid-divorce. One woman came by and asked why the second room had no furniture and why I had so many frozen burritos. I didn't have an answer. It's final now. He hired a lawyer. I got the email today. It had his last name in the subject. It outlined the asset division, ending the lease, and separating all our joint responsibilities. I read it on my phone while standing in the kitchen beside the coffee maker he chose. I didn't reply. I've read it 5 times and still have no idea what to do. I can't afford a lawyer. I don't even know how to pay for mediation. I'm still late on last month's rent. I asked AP again if he could help me find a place or let me crash for a bit. He saw the message but didn't respond. The next day I followed up and he finally wrote, "I don't think it's a good idea for us to keep talking right now." I stopped messaging after that. I don't want to feel this unwanted anymore. So I've started selling things, old clothes, electronics, even wedding gifts, the nice cookware, the mixer. I brought that mixer to a pawn shop, and a guy offered me $40. He didn't even look interested. I've applied for more hours at work, but they're cutting shifts across the board. The landlord gave me a deadline, pay by the 15th or vacate. I haven't told my parents. They'd say this is my fault, and they wouldn't be wrong. But I still can't bear to hear it from them. I've thought about asking him, my husband, almost ex, just one last time, but I already know what he'd say. He doesn't owe me anything anymore. And truthfully, I broke promises I should never have made. I stepped outside of what was supposed to be sacred. Even now, I wake up thinking I'll hear his keys drop into the bowl by the door. I catch myself wanting to text him, "We're out of coffee, or did you pay the water bill?" Then I remember it's not we anymore. I don't have a plan. I'm not working on some neat little redemption story. He's not going to be on the other side of any of this. Neither is AP. I always thought I'd get it together before it got this bad, but I didn't.